Hey folks, Kevin here. Well, it's the 4th of July 2023 and the weather has really improved significantly here. The air quality has improved. We've had all the smoke from Canada, the wildfires up in Canada for the last week, and you know, the hazard warnings where we're living have been released. And we did get some rain. We got about 1.6 more inches, just like before. So we've had about a total of a little over 3 inches in total this season in rain, which really beats having those heavy droughts that we've had in the past. But today I thought what I'd do is we take a walk down some of the living fence line and the fig trees. So sorry about the noises with the gimbal. So this past fall we took some of our fig trees, and I'm sorry about any wind noise that may show up now, and we planted them in a row here going along our living fence, and we'll go to the back in a couple of moments, but first we'll look at the living fence. So we transplanted our potted up fig trees, brown turkey and Chicago hardy trees in a row here, and then we bent the trees over. So let me see if I can. So the base of this tree is right here, and we bent it over so we get shoots up, and we basically tied them. Thea tied them next to each other, and after getting all of the trees put in a row down here, the next thing that we did was we secured these small hoops that we have with paracord tied at each end, and then we filled this whole area right up to the top, and there's videos last year that we showing what we did do. Filled it right up with the leaf material that's right here. Now I've taken a lot of the leaf material away, but it gives you an idea of it was right up to the top, and that was an insulation for over the winter months to keep the fig trees from freezing. So there was some damage to some of it, and Thea did some pruning, but we have more pruning to do. She untied them, but as you can see, they're sending up shoots pretty nice. So this is July 4th now, and I think it was just 1 month ago that we showed that we had actually gotten these trees uncovered. We waited a while until everything turned out. So the fig trees are doing pretty well. Very happy with them. Like I said, I've got to prune off a lot of the dead material that didn't make it. And if things go well, we'll have some figs. So it takes 90 days for the figs to completely mature. And there's really nothing like having figs right off the trees themselves. There's a huge difference from anything that you can buy in the store. They're just absolutely phenomenal to taste. And the Chicago hardy and the brown turkey, the only way I can tell the difference, they both taste delicious to me. I can't say that I detect a big difference between them. But it takes 90 days for them to reach full maturity. So what we do is 90 days before we close them up, in other words, figure out when your frosts are going to be, we want to go about 100 days back from that point so that you got 10 days to pick them, and pinch the apical buds. So we come along right in here, and this small bud that's sticking up right there, we just pinch that off, and that tells them to start to produce the fruit. Decreases vegetative growth and increases fruit production. So I don't know how much we'll do this year. We're trying to get fruit production this year from it because we just got them transplanted this last fall, and I'm real happy with how they're looking so far. And the deer have not been chewing on them. But let me walk around here. A black locust tree we've got right here. So these are elderberry plants, and of course, it got some nice snakes in here as well. And this is a honey locust tree right ahead of us here. But the elderberry bushes. The deer eat down like crazy. I'll just walk over here, see if I can swing by. So this elderberry bush, the deer just make their way over here and munch them down continuously. That's another black locust. But what I thought I'd do is, so the fig trees are doing great as we just walk down the line with them. And so this is all part of a living fence, this whole section. And we'll go down there to the lower section next to our neighbor's property. But last year we took out the cedar fence panels that were here. And we brought down a lot of soil that's all on top of the soil that we've been building up over the years. And so we have one tree that didn't make it, but here, using the leaves, it created a nice mulch. But here's some lemon balm, some chives there, more lemon balm chives. There are some weeds here, of course. But at this upper level, I'm pretty happy with how well things are coming. I have to take care of these here because these are just going to seed now, these weeds. You know, here's a maple tree, a honey locust, a thornless honey locust. And again, the lemon balm will spread like crazy. And that's really awesome. Here's one of our oak trees here. And of course you can see all the comfrey that we have here as well. That really helps to suppress the weed development. So here I am on this side of the fence. We own just on this side. I'm actually standing on our neighbor's property to show this. But the comfrey really does help to decrease weed growth here, development, and provides good mulching material as well. So the comfrey will grow up like 3 times the size, 3 times throughout the season. This will grow up and then fall over. So this is about to fall over. Ignore the mugwort here as well. Now some of the honey locust trees, the thornless, curly willows that we planted right along the fence line here haven't done so well. So we have 8 of those that did not do well. But the rest of them, these are all ones that we put from just hardwood cuttings. So these are the curly willows, and this is going to make more of the living fence that we want down in here. And we'll just walk down here. Beautiful curly willows. Again, I do have some weeds there. But over time, this will help to break the wind that comes out of the northwest over there. So I'm 6'2", and you can see the height of the ground level of our property over there that we built up over years. Sorry about this. And the slope of the property goes in this way. So over there by that big honey locust tree over there, that's built up about 8.5 feet from where the property level was before. So far we're real happy with how this the living fence line is going here, and real happy with how well the fig trees are doing. And with this being so much high carbon soil in this area, made from hugelkultur pits that we buried over the years, and lots of wood chips that have been decomposing over the years. So far, this has really worked out. All made from waste. And you can't really see very well, sorry about that. But over there, standing against the coop area there, are more of the curly willows that I'm going to transplant over in here as time permits. Now we're going to go up this fence line here and see the living fence that I've also been working on. We still have the cedar board fencing behind there. There's some weeds in here. Here we have elderberry plants, black locust, lilac bush, Lots of elderberry plants that are smaller in this area. More elderberries in here. Staghorn sumac, curly willow. Grapevines are engulfing, so I've got to get the grapevines under control. They go crazy around here. And you can see our elderberry plants are just taking right off, so this is a good example of how big they can get. So they're probably about 11 feet tall right in there, and behind them you could see the tops of the curly willow trees there. Really coming along nicely. So this is about 5 years old, this section right in here. So we can have all the elderberries we ever want right in here. Now we're getting up into the area where we have lots of high bush cranberry bushes. Now there are a couple in there, so it's a mixture. So these are high bush cranberry bushes. These will produce really bright red berries. The white flowers come pretty early in the season. The birds love them, the deer love them as well, but it's working pretty well. Down below we have lemon balm. In here we have some Jerusalem artichokes or sunchokes. More high bush cranberry bushes. High bush cranberry bushes. More high bush cranberry bushes, and you can see the deer like them. They browse and chew them down some. There's black currants there. High bush cranberry bushes, high bush cranberry bushes here. Elderberry here, they've eaten right down. More high bush cranberry bushes. We got some vines growing on the fence here as well. They've eaten this area down quite a bit. Now we're on top of, this whole area is hugelkultur pits that I put in here. You can actually see some section of logs as the wood chips have broken down and all in here. But waste from the town or different areas around here actually turns out to be pretty darn good. More high bush cranberry bushes here. All along in here. Now we're getting into some of the black currants in here. We got some volunteer raspberry bushes there. Black currants. This is spearmint in here. That's how high spearmint gets. A little bit over 3 foot tall. Here it is a little bit better controlled here. Spearmint where I mow. Really makes a nice smell when I mow. Really pleasant. Our big white magnolia tree. Continuing up the fence line here. And then up in here, mostly black currants. And we've got tons of black currants all over the property and all. Oak trees, more black currants. Oak trees in here. Black currants. Lots and lots of black currants. Black currants. Lots of black currants all throughout over in here. You can see the cedar. This cedar fencing is 20 years old this year, and the pressure treated 2x4s, they're just junk. They just break right down to nothing. The cedar boards rot right through as well, just in 20 years here. More of the black currants all along in here. There were some oak trees that I planted in the back. Not sure. There's still some small ones back there that I could see. But the deer have really nibbled on those, so it's one of those things where I have to go through this process. So when we put in this fence 20 years ago, I was hoping it was going to last longer. For about 10 years ago, I realized this stuff is just decomposing way too quickly. For cedar boards that weren't exposed, that had minimal ground contact at all, it was the base of the boards were all about 1.5 inches above the ground. And we do get the heavy snow loads here, but this stuff just broke down. And I did put a really good stain on all sides of it to make sure that to try and keep it in good condition. But about 10 years ago, I realized this stuff is breaking down, and I decided to start the process of creating a living fence that if I have to, if there's lots of weeds, I can always come in and chop it down and let the rootstock from all the material that we've planted here do well. So up here where it's higher and drier, and again, our property's all gravel, it's not doing as well, but the currents really do a good job of conditioning the soil here. And so I'll decide over time which plants are doing the best, which plants are producing the most, creating soil, good quality soil, producing food for the wildlife and producing food for us as well. And which ones are more deer resistant and which ones create the habitats and the opportunity for the desirable wildlife to help with our integrated pest management and creating habitats for the wildlife as well. So far so good. I'm really impressed with the high bush cranberry bushes and the elderberry bushes. Once the elderberry bushes get over 6 feet tall, they tend to do really fantastic. But they're a type of bush that they will spread, so you've got to plan accordingly to help control it. The high bush cranberry bushes really do great, and they produce an abundance of food. Bird nests in them like crazy, so it's wonderful. The deer love them. The Jerusalem artichokes are really good for this time of year for a visual barrier, but they really don't help with a structural or big wind barrier at all. The high bush cranberries are probably the best for the wind barrier. They really break and diffuse the force of the wind, so that really helps out an awful lot. And I guess that's about it. So it's really nice to be able to go out in your own side yard and be able to harvest some of the fruit that you want, or medicinal berries, if you will, as well. So that's an update on our living fences on this part of the property and our fig trees so far this year. So we'll see how everything works out. But since the air quality is better today, and really there's not much wind, even though the wind comes out of the west, once we're over here, it's not too bad at all. So I hope you folks stay safe, take good care of yourselves, enjoy the holiday, what's left of the weekend and all, and be careful driving back if you're traveling, and I hope they get those fires under control in Canada. Thanks so much for watching. Have a super fantastic and safe week. Bye-bye now.